Hello students, so today I'll cover the next set of questions from the chapter What is Democracy? Why Democracy? So the first question is from your book itself. Which of these is not a valid reason for arguing that there is a lesser possibility of famine in a democratic country? So what is famine? Extreme scarcity of food is famine. Alright, so which of the following reasons state that there is no chances of famine in future? Okay, now opposition parties can draw attention to hunger and starvation. Yes, I've already mentioned about the majority party or the ruling party and the opposition party. Like in India, the ruling party is NDA, the opposition party is UPA, TMCP, Aam Aadmi Party. So these are the opposition parties currently. So if these parties, suppose if in India there is a situation of hunger and starvation, and the opposition parties like TMCP, uh, Aam Aadmi Party, they are coming together collectively and criticizing the role of the ruling party, then the ruling party will quickly take their actions, and there is less chances of hunger and starvation or famine in the country. So this is this is a valid reason. All right, so this is a reason. If we follow these, then there is a lesser possibility of famine. Next, free press can report suffering from famine in different parts of the country. If earlier, before the situation arrives, no, before there is a famine, if the media, they are going at the ground level and they are doing the surveys, they are showing the exact thing to the people, then with the collective support, people can protest and government has to take the timely actions again, then there is less chances of famine in the country. Next, government fears its defeat in the next elections. Yes, when you have fears inside you, if you know that every year, every 5 years, we choose our government. So if a government is not working, if government is not looking after the needs and the welfare, or the situations are not being controlled, then what will happen? The government will change, or people will not vote for the same party again. So that fear may make the party work. So this is again a reason when there is a less possibility of famine. Last one, people are free to believe and practice any religion. So here they are talking about religion. So religion is your belief. So religion and feminism are totally two different things. So this is the answer. Okay, this is not the valid reason. If people follow any religion, that does not matter. What matter is actions taken by the government. And in these three arguments, if these three things are being followed, then the actions will be taken and we can control famine. All right, so the answer will be D, because they have asked which is not. Next question, democracy improves the quality of decision making. Yes, democracy is based on consultation, discussion, like people are being asked what is their best need, what is their best requirement. Okay, and in a democracy, whenever the decisions are made after a series of discussions, meetings, then only we come to a decision. Okay, that is why the quality of the decision is very improved. Okay, and they are taken by various of discussions, and if the discussion of the decision is not liked by the people, then they have again a right to protest. All right, and even they can force the government to withdraw it. Okay, I hope this is clear. Next question, what is representative democracy? See, I've told you there are two types of democracy, direct and indirect. What happens in direct? With the people, they are directly involved in the decision making. Okay, they themselves, they are sitting and they are discussing their problems, they are giving the solutions to the problem, they themselves, the collectively, the entire people of the society. Okay, but what happens in representative? We choose someone to take the decisions. That is the indirect democracy. All right, when we are choosing someone to take the decisions, or we are choosing representatives on behalf of us to take the decisions for us. So it is a form of government. The majority of people rule uh, through their elected representatives. All right. Next question: why is the representative democracy considered the most common form of democracy? See, I've discussed this question that it, why we are adopting representative democracy, because direct democracy is nearly impossible nowadays, because a lot of population and people are also busy. All right, people are busy, they don't have skills to take decisions, people have to engage in something else. That is why the modern form of democracy is all representative democracy. Now they have compared uh, the political system in China and political system in Mexico. All right. Still, China follows this system, but in Mexico, we can see because there was one party, PRI, that ruled country Mexico for 70 years. Started in the year 1930, and they were in power till 2000. But again, in 2000, the elections were fair. But we are discussing the 70 years, how the party PRI ruled. All right. So, what was the situation in Mexico, and what is the system in China? All right. So, in China, elections do not offer any choice. They do not have a choice. They have only one party to vote. That is Chinese Communist Party. But in Mexico, the people, they had a choice. The opposition parties were there even before 2000, but there was only one party that was coming into power. How? You people know it. People have to choose the ruling party and the candidates approved by it. Yes, whatever the candidates or whatever the candidates are being finalized by CCP are there in the elections, and people have to choose among them. In Mexico, there were no way the ruling party could be defeated, even the people were against it. Yes, because they were using certain unfair practices, fraud, in order to win the elections. All right. Next question: how does Abraham Lincoln define democracy? So, there is a quote by Abraham Lincoln that democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. I've discussed this thing in the class. Still, if you have any doubt, you can write down in the comment section. Next, next question. Describe the origin of the word democracy. Again, still, democracy has its origin in the Greek word demokratia. Now, demos means people, and kratia means rule. So, it is meant by rule by the people. Next question: which members are allowed to contest the elections? Again, only the party members which are approved by the party, or the 8 smaller parties which are also aligned with CCP. So whatever members, whatever leaders that are chosen by the party, they participate in the elections, and the people choose among themselves. Okay, next question: what is democracy? Give example of non-democratic countries. uh, Now, what is democracy? Democracy is a form of government where the leaders are elected by the people. Okay, but what are the non-democratic countries? Like army rulers of Myanmar are not elected by the people. What we are discussing, democracy is a form of government in which the rulers or the leaders are elected by the people. But what is happening in Myanmar? The army, they are leading the country, but they are not elected by the people. So those government which are not elected by the people, we cannot say that is democratic. Like Pinochet, he was a dictator in Chile. He was also not elected by the people. Even in Saudi Arabia, Nepal, the earlier Nepal was a monarchical form of government. Like there was a king, or the entire family, royal family used to rule the country. Okay, we cannot say monarchical form of government, dictatorial form of government is a democratic. I hope this is clear. Next, what is the role of the citizens in a country? Now, we being the citizens, what is our responsibility in a democracy? All right, no democracy can function in the absence of socially responsible and informed citizens. Okay, so see, we have to be responsible and we have to be informed, like what is happening around us, what is happening in our country. We have to be very informed about it. All right. And we have to be responsible enough, because this is us for whom the democratic setup has been established. Okay, once the democracy is there, and it will be there for lifelong without any check, that is not possible. We have to keep a close check on the decision makers as well as on the decision implementers. All right, now first is, what is our responsibility? Citizens maintain social harmony by mutually respecting and tolerating differences and views of all others who disagree. Yes, as a citizen, as I've told you, we all human beings, we are all different. There's so many differences among us, yes or no? And being different does not mean that you will hate the other person, you will dislike the other person. No, being a fellow human being, you must respect the other human being. Be the person is against the view of yours, not, doesn't matter. Only thing matter is you must respect and be tolerant towards others. Second point is, as citizens have the right to express their dissent. They act as a director to the government, where they express their grievances through channels provided by democratic system. Now, as a citizen, we have a right to show our dissent, to show our approval, okay, or disapproval. Disapproval, like we have not liked the decision, we are against it. We have a right, because it is for us, it is us who have set up the order. We are also the director. Okay, we will express our grievances. Okay, and citizens also play a decisive role in the establishment of a welfare government by participating and seeking to influence public opinion. Yes, we have to take a decisive role. And where the citizen exercise the right to vote, yes, it's a must, because we are following a representative form of government, we are choosing. So right to vote is a must, and there should be no discrimination. Mention three instances where which are exceptional to the principle of one person, one vote, and one value. Right? Any three instances of denial of equal right of vote in the world politics. We have discussed these things, right? That democracy is based on the basic principle of political equality. Yes, we are all equal politically. And what is the political right that we all have? That is right to vote. Okay, and each citizen must have one vote, one value. All right, that's it. That vote must be counted. But there are instances in some of the countries where they are denial of equal right to vote, like in Saudi Arabia. I've discussed the municipal elections where women were not given the right to vote. Okay, but in 2015, king has declared that women also gets the right to vote. Estonia, I have discussed, the Russian population were denied right to vote. Fiji, the Indian, as you know, Indian makes a population of 41% in Fiji. Yes or no? Still, their value of vote was not equal to the original population of Fiji. Next question, there are 40 villages in a district where the government has made no provision for drinking water. These villages met and considered many methods of forcing the government to respond to their needs. Okay, there are 40 villages in a district and there is no drinking water facilities. Now, these villages, they are meeting and they are adopting certain measures. Now, you have to identify which measure is democratic and which is not. First one, filing a case in the court claiming that water is a part of the right to life. Okay, now you are democratically taking steps, because you, whenever your rights are violated, then you have judiciary to approach. Okay, because judiciary does what? Protects our fundamental rights. They are the guardian of our constitution. You have to go to the court and democratically you have to take a step. Okay, you have to approach and tell that uh, we are not getting our right to life. That is we are denied the right to water. Yes, so this is democratic. Second is boycotting the next elections to give a message to all the parties. Yes, now we are boycotting the elections. We are not going for the elections. We are not choosing our representatives when these representatives are not accountable to us. So what is the need of these elections when you are not listening to our demands? Again, boycotting, it is a democratic process, because in a democracy you have a right to protest, you have a right to demand. Next, organizing public meeting against the government policies. Yes, you can also organize meetings, associations, group where you will discuss about the problems that is going on. Next, paying money to government officials to get water. This is undemocratic, because this is what you are adopting corruption. So corruption is against democracy. Okay, because you are giving money, you are getting water, because water is your right. Why are you paying money for that? Okay, this is your right. This because the leaders who are in power, they have promised you that they will provide you the basic amenities of life. If they are not providing you, you should not go and buy it illegally. All right, next question. Write a response to the following arguments against democracy. Okay, you have to write the arguments. Like, first question is, army is the most disciplined and corruption. Like, see, now these there are thinkers, no, we people think, okay, what is the best alternative form of government, what is the best, how can we be in peace and harmony if we adopt democracy, or if we adopt any other form of government, be it any form, but what we want peace. Now people are thinking that, what if army, as you know, army is the most disciplined and the corruption free organization. Okay, the army should rule the country. Just a thought. Okay, but what happens that they are if even if the army rules the people, what will happen, that people are, they are not elected by the people, and they are less accountable to the people, they'll less listen to the problems of the people, they'll focus more on themselves. Once they get power, they focus on power. Okay, and secondly, people will not be allowed to voice their opinion. Yes, as easily army will pick up their guns and they'll suppress us. So where is our right to give our opinion? Where is our right to demand? Where is our right to protest? No, nothing. We'll get nothing. Okay, next one is, rule of the majority means rule of the ignorant people. What we need is the rule of the wise, even if they are in small numbers. See, such a thing would be against the principle of universal adult franchise. Now, what is this universal adult franchise? That in our country, if you reach 18 years, or whenever you're being adult, then you have a right to vote. Okay, so you are not being ignorant, because you are wise enough. Okay, and you have the right to participate in the government. Okay, next is, if we want religious leaders to guide us in spiritual matters, why not invite them to guide us in politics as well? So people are just, they want a full term settlement. Okay, people want everything to be in order. If democracy is not giving us, then what if army, or other wise people, only the wise people, the smart people, okay, or just the religious leaders? But if you go by these, because if you see the religious leaders, there are so many religions. Again, these, if we give to a specific religion, then what will happen? They'll fight amongst themselves. Okay, and it will lead to the unnecessary tensions in the country. Okay, and it is very necessary for them to run their own religions first, then the political affairs. Next, are the following statesmen in keeping with democracy as a value? Why? Father to daughter, I do not want to hear your opinion about your marriage. In our family, children marry where the parents tell them to. Okay, now this statement is undemocratic, because the girl do not have a choice to marry. Okay, because as per our constitution, every citizen who is 18 or above has the right to marry according to his or her choice. So this is undemocratic. Second one, teacher to student. Do not disturb me, my concentration by asking me questions in the classroom. Again, if a teacher is saying that do not break my concentration by asking me questions, this is again undemocratic. Okay, the best the teacher can do is to ask the student to ask his query at the end of the lecture. Stopping him from doing so, it's incorrect. All right. Now, employee to the officer, our working hours must be reduced according to the law. And the statement is democratic. Okay, because here the employee are asking the fundamental rights. Okay, this is democratic because it is legally they are asking that law has given them certain working hours, and if they are working more, then it's against the law. Last question, consider the following facts about a country and decide if you call it a democracy or not. All the citizens of the country had the right to vote. Elections are held regularly. Undemocratic is what? Because it is undemocratic to reduce expense. Sorry. Uh, Two important features of democracies are regularly elections and universal franchise. So this is democratic. Second one, the country took a loan from international agency. One of the conditions for the giving loan was that the government would reduce its expense on education and health. See, the country took a loan from the international agency like WTO, World Bank, IMF. They provide loan. Okay, and one of the condition for the giving loan was that government would reduce the expense on health and education. This is undemocratic. You cannot sacrifice the education and health factor of your population. You cannot sacrifice that. All right, and you're taking loans at the cost of the people, so it is undemocratic. People speak more than 7 languages, but education is available in only one language, the language spoken by the 52% of the people. All right. Now, the national language can be a single language, but such a concept will bring about national integrity. But other languages should also be encouraged. All right. People, yeah, because we belong to different ethnicity, and every language should be entertained. Okay, officially you can follow one language, but no other languages to be discriminated. So next, several organizations have given a call for peaceful demonstration and nationwide strikes in the country to oppose the policies. The government has arrested these leaders. Again, this is undemocratic because we have a right to protest, we have a right to strike, we have a right to peaceful demonstrations, and government must not. But yes, but sometimes what happens, the situation goes out of hand. That time we can say in order to maintain law and order, government do arrest. But if they are peacefully demonstrating, if they are not destroying any property, then they have a right. Next, government owns the radio and television in the country. All the newspapers have to get permission from the government to publish any news about the government's policies and protests. See, this is again undemocratic because you cannot own the radio, television. If a party is owning radio, television, what will happen? They'll show only the good points of the party. They'll just neglect, or they'll just shadow. They will not show the negative points of the party because they have bought it. The radio, television, newspaper, these are the common media platform that we follow. So government should not. Okay, it should be free from any government control. So this is undemocratic. All right, so this is it. And write an essay on democracy and poverty. Just go through it once, read it, and write it. So this is it. Thank you so much.